Slurp.
Slurp indeed.
And welcome to Geeks and Gaijins. I'm your Gaijin John.
I'm the Geek Tom.
And welcome to this week's Geeks and Gaijins. We don't have a theme tune yet.
We'll have to work on that at some point. John, get on that.
Done.
I'm in.
Yes, for those who don't know, we are the podcast that looks at Japan from both the East and the West. Me being in a very dark Japan right now because it's evening.
I'm in a very dark place, but that's because I have all the blinds drawn so that no natural sunlight can touch me. I'm in England. Hello.
Natural sunlight in England? I doubt that. I doubt that heavily, Thomas.
You make a very good point.
If you listen to last week's episode, somehow the Japanese government has managed to prove me wrong in at least a couple of days, because they obviously listen.
Are you sure that's the case? Are you sure you're not wrong so often that the pattern may suggest that it's not, the anime conspiracy Illuminati or the Japanese government secretly out to get you? It might be something else entirely, John.
No, Thomas, it's the children who are wrong.
Fair enough, obviously.
Essentially, this is coronavirus, which, to be honest, is still fine. But also the Japanese government managed to be the bureaucratic mess that they love to be and managed to just release an entire, essentially a ship of infected people after the quarantine. And they messed up the quarantine itself. There was like doctors talking about, I've treated like Ebola and swine flu, and I was always fine in those because we had safe zones and non-safe zones, and I was always totally fine. And in this one, I was scared as all hell. It's just like the doctor's just going, oh no, it was all the bureaucrats. Like, we had no idea what was going on because all the bureaucrats were trying to basically mess with everything. Because welcome to Japan.
I know this isn't a original hot take or anything, but you know how in zombie movies there's always something that goes horribly fucking wrong. You're like, how did they mess this up? This was such an easy thing not to get wrong. And you're just like, yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? You really would think.
Yes, but the thing is, we cannot lose face. Japan cannot lose face just before the 2020 Olympics. Throw them away. Yeah, because all these people went into Tokyo just a couple of months before the biggest sports festival in the world.
You couldn't.
To Tokyo.
They couldn't have messed this up more if they'd done it deliberately.
Yeah. Ooh. Though notably some great racist stuff from the current Conservative candidate for London mayor saying, yeah, London could host it if Japan can't due to coronavirus, due to the fact that it's still, like, he said this fully knowing it's currently not even worse than the regular flu. And it's just like, what? Oh, God. There's a lot of very nasty stuff in the West at the moment about racism against Asian people because of the coronavirus. And it's just like, oh, God.
Gotta find something to do, haven't we?
Exactly. We've got to distract ourselves from Brexit and Trump somehow by listening to stupid anime podcasts.
It's spreading. Oh, God, the politics. It's gone into my anime podcast.
No!
Get it out.
It's almost as if the media created by a country talking about fighting back against strict, brutal overlords who don't care about their subservient peoples is somehow a reflection upon the society in which those creators live. This is one thing that people forget about a lot of anime and things, is a lot of anime creators are weird in Japan. They are the weirdos, and like, it's a big export and loads of Japanese people love it, but they are also, those are the weird people taking risks, and the entire industry, as mentioned last episode in the annual Geeks and Gaijins award of generally a bit of a dick one. I can't remember what his name was.
I'm going to guess it was George Wata. It's not really a name worth remembering.
No.
Like we said, he's a bit of a dick.
The anime industry is also messed up, even though it has that representation. Japan is mess, but so is the rest of the world, so what are we going to do?
Well, we're going to specifically look at why Japan is a mess, and in one particular field today, aren't we, John?
Yeah, well, it's not a mess. It kind of is, but it's a mess that doesn't really matter, because, yay, let's talk about the royal family. So you might have heard the UK has a royal family, and Prince Harry is doing stuff.
Goodness me. What on earth? That's not what the royal family's supposed to do.
I know, it's horrific, because Japan, for those who are not familiar with the country having a royal family, has a royal family, and they don't do anything. Guys, seriously, the Queen doesn't do anything, the Emperor doesn't do anything. That's kind of the point. I think there are only 5 countries on Earth or something that are still absolute monarchies, notably one of them being Vatican City, because the Pope is the absolute ruler of Vatican City. Just to be fun. Because the Pope is technically also the king of Vatican City at the same time as being the Pope. It's really weird.
Dope.
But currently, you might have heard that last year, Japan got a new emperor.
Woo! Did it now?
Yeah, it did.
Cool. Why did that happen?
Basically, the last one got really old. So we got a new one.
How old is really old for a monarch? I want to ask because we have our queen over here, and she's still a sprightly young one, but she's been around for a while. She's a veteran of the royal arts these days. So how old is too old for Japan?
Well, currently we're going to get into why names are really confusing. That was the Emperor Akihito, and he was 86 years old. He was a sprightly 86 years old currently. Oh. He would have been 85 when he abdicated. And so his son, who is just celebrated as of yesterday, his 60th birthday. Happy birthday, Emperor Naruhito, the current Emperor of Japan. Yay!
Good for him. It's a long time coming, I'm sure.
What, his 60th birthday? Yes, I'd assume so.
That too, but also being Emperor. But yeah. That too.
The thing is, names are confusing. I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. Because when you get a new Emperor, it starts a new era, and it becomes year 1 of that era, and they choose a word. So the one that was chosen last year was Reiwa, and so we are now in the Reiwa era. So 2019 was Reiwa 1, and 2020 is Reiwa 2. Simples.
Reiwa mean?
Reiwa is, there was a huge amount of politics about it, because it's like, it was a very both untraditional word, but also kind of semi-traditional. The current emperor is kind of a bit cool because he's gone against some traditions and stuff. Reiwa can be interpreted as beautiful harmony.
All right, fair enough. That's a pretty safe name.
Yeah, it's not because of reasons, but yeah,
This isn't a Japanese language lesson, so we're gonna have to avoid that, aren't we?
Yeah, it's the issue with kanji and things like that. So, found it. It's the first Japanese era name. It's been taken from classical Japanese literature instead of classical Chinese literature.
Seems like an odd tradition.
I have in no way qualified enough to talk about this, because, God, this is confusing.
All right, so, past the Reiwa era, or whatever the heck we were talking about.
Yes. Now, the emperor in Japan is, when they're the emperor, is just called the emperor. That's the thing. You don't call them Queen Elizabeth, you just call them the Queen.
Makes sense. There's only one emperor at any one time, so.
Exactly. They have a first name. As I said, the current emperor is called Naruhito, but no one uses that. And they also have what is called a posthumous name. So basically, after they die, they get named Emperor the era that it was. So when the current emperor dies, he will be Emperor Reiwa. When the last emperor dies, because he's not died yet, he will be Emperor Heisei or Heisei. I can't say that word. But this is why also the emperor known in the West as Hirohito, that makes him sound slightly like Prince, the emperor formerly known as Hirohito, is known in Japan as Emperor Showa, because his era was the Showa era. So they don't call him Hirohito. It'd be like, there's not really an equivalent in the West. It'd be like calling the Pope, like, by his first name. It'd be like calling, hey, Pope. Hey, Jim. I don't know what Pope Francis's name was before.
Hey, Pope Jim Tanaka.
Yes, the first Japanese Pope, Pope Jim Tanaka. So that's why it gets confusing. But the thing is, you do need to know Japanese era names if you come here, because on a paperwork, I needed to know what year of Heisei I was born in. Because also Showa only ended in 1989. Hirohito didn't die until, 30 years ago. To put that in perspective, Hirohito could have played Final Fantasy III.
Yes. That definitely helps me gain some perspective on this. Oh, dear.
Oh, damn it. No, he couldn't, because Final Fantasy III was released in 1990, the year after he died. He could have played the original Final Fantasy.
And Final Fantasy 2, I'm assuming.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, okay. Well, he could have played Final Fantasy.
He could have played the original Final Fantasy game. I'm now imagining.
Was that also on the form papers you had to fill in?
Yes.
Could such historical figure play a Final Fantasy game if they had wanted to?
Yes.
That cultural milestone.
How many Final Fantasy games away was their death? Well, he probably died around 3 or 4 Final Fantasies ago. I don't really know.
Eventually, Japan's going to just drop the whole Emperor era trend and just go, okay, so this is Emperor Final Fantasy 21.
Also, I will have you know that Final Fantasy in Japanese,
They just say Final Fantasy.
Yes, in katakana, it is Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy.
The point is, it sounds almost exactly like it does in English.
Yes, and also the Emperor system is weird. Yay!
Huzzah!
But that's why you need to know your era name, kids. Know your era names. And also the Emperor's birthday is a national holiday. So I got the day off of work today. Yay!
Is it just like a bank holiday, like the Queen's birthday? Or is there like a specific celebration or something that happens?
No, it's a bank holiday. It's just a bank holiday.
Nice.
The Queen's birthday isn't a bank holiday in the UK.
Is it not?
Nope.
It's hard to tell. There's like 2 of the things. It's really hard to keep track of.
Yeah, so there's an official birthday, which is there's her actual birthday, and then there's essentially the day she got crowned. So her, regnal birthday. I have no clue.
That'd be a coronation day, would it not?
This is a podcast about Japan, Thomas. Why are you making it all about you?
You can't be in the UK without the U. That's how it works.
Tell the EU that. Oh god, politics in my Japanese history. It's going
to be the IK and the EU now. That's how it works.
Oh god. Oh dear. I think I need a snack break after that.
Not to be confused with Europe and the America. No, this isn't working. Please, snack break away.
Snack break away. This week's snack break is tea.
What type of tea, John?
This is, as the Japanese are known to say it, royal milk tea.
Ooh, that sounds appropriate to our discussion about the Emperor. Somehow.
Indeed it does. This was invented in 1965. It just looks like normal milky tea, but by Lipton Tea Company. Essentially, it's tea made not exclusively with milk, but essentially, if you want to make it yourself, you have to make it in like a saucepan with tea leaves and a small amount of water and loads of milk. So you infuse the tea leaves into the milk. You don't just add milk to it. And it's also a load of sugar in it.
Sounds like way too much effort.
Oh yeah, it's very strange. You don't make it yourself. You buy it cold, or you buy it cold, or you buy it hot from a vending machine. Or like I do, get it from a small sachet that I add hot water to, which has a very cute parrot on the outside.
This just sounds like regular tea with extra steps.
Yeah, pretty much. The thing is, it has its own really weird, unique taste. Like the milk, it's the kind of milk tea you have cold that ends up in bubble tea. So it's kind of the same thing-ish, but you have it hot. That's that kind of flavor.
How is it that I'm English? I'm still confused by Japanese tea culture.
No, because this is just weird. This is. I'm just saying, if you do visit Japan and you're like, "Ooh, royal milk tea. I like milky tea. I wonder what that is." It essentially tastes like kind of tea mixed with condensed milk and loads of sugar.
Oh man,
It's way too sweet for lots of people, and it's also way too milky. It's like, imagine if you made tea with almost only milk and loads of sugar. That's what it tastes like.
Japan. You just be honest with yourself. You know hot chocolate exists. Just go for that instead.
No, they'll have royal milk tea with my sleepy, sleepy bird on the outside of the packet. So that is royal milk tea.
Far away, John. Give it a taste.
I drank it all during that conversation. It's really nice. I drink it vaguely on the regular, not too regular, because it's not great for you because it's loads of milk and sugar. It's nice. I also just drink normal tea as well. I have a secret supply of English breakfast tea that I keep hidden from the authorities, so it's not taken away from me.
Oh dear.
You can buy regular tea here. You can buy it in shops. They know Japanese tea, or green tea as we know it in the West, is known as orcha, and black tea, or like Indian/Chinese style tea, is called korcha. And so if you want that style tea in Japan, ask for korcha, not orcha. Because orcha and matcha, green, korcha, it's black tea. Sometimes you can ask for it with milk. Sometimes they'll just look at you strangely, but mostly they will anyway, because maybe you have blonde hair. I don't know. I still get that. I'm just like, hello, yes, I exist. I'm one of the only people with blonde hair in like the surrounding 30 miles. Nice to see you.
We're here. We're blonde. Get used to it.
Get used to it, yeah.
Yes, I have blonde hair. Yes, I'm a foreigner. Yes, we exist.
Yes, I live here. That's more the thing they're confused about. Like, you're not a tourist. You're dressed like you go to work. Yes, because I live and work here. What? Yes, my Japanese is awful, but it's better than Jim Tanaka over there.
Apparently, Jim Tanaka does not speak any Japanese or English at all. So
No,
he's living a very poor and confused life. Is Jim Tanaka?
he is fluent in Korean, however. It's just a misleading name. That's all. But no, that is royal milk tea, and I give that a cute sleepy bird out of 10. I'll send Thomas a quick picture of the sleepy birdie boy.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any more luck setting up that Instagram account, John?
No.
One of us will have to do it at some point. We've said enough times now that we're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I've been setting up an entire separate podcast that you should listen to. So if you want more history stuff that's as weird as what I've been talking about just now, listen to it. By this time, we should have one all about creation myths and things that I just finished writing. Yay!
And eventually you'll get back around to talking about how weird Japanese eras are, I'm sure.
Yes, in about, by my count, probably about 4 years. Or maybe, if I'm very fast, 2 or 3 years.
We're in it for the long haul now, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cute bird.
As long as coronavirus doesn't come and kill me. Who's that at the door? It's the Japanese police for your tea and the coronavirus. And Jim Tanaka, he's just pissed off.
That certainly looks like tea.
Yep, that's the thing. It looks exactly the same. That's how it gets you.
Yeah. It's a great mug you got it in as well.
Oh yeah, I have it in my little Pokemon, Pokemon donut mug.
That's basically a Pokenut. They would call that a Pokenut in the Pokemon game.
Yeah.
That's
Have you had your Pokenut? Like my delicious jelly donuts.
Yep, that's what it's going to be. And they said the next Pokemon game is instead of making curries for your Pokemon, you make donuts for them.
Delicious jelly donuts.
When they set it in Canada.
Yes, exactly. For those who don't get this reference, one of the very bad localization attempts on the original Pokemon TV series was they have onigiri or rice balls, and they're just like, oh, in the original Japanese is like, oh, I've got some rice balls, come have some, they're delicious. To which the English version, they didn't edit any of the visuals, but just changed the lines with Brock saying, holding them, have some delicious jelly donuts. They're my favorite.
Oh boy, I sure love jelly donuts. He says, holding a triangle of white rice in a little black sushi wrap.
Yeah, just like, yes.
Because, you know, it's not important for kids to understand what other food is. They're too dumb to understand what rice is. So obviously we just got to call it a jelly donut and hope no one notices. They're kids, they're dumb. They don't
It's
care.
like, it's some translations I've done in school. It's like, how do you translate mochi? Well, you translate mochi as rice cake, but no one in the West is going to call a mochi a rice cake. They're going to call it mochi. It's just like, technically it's a rice cake, but rice cake are also some really, really bad crackers. So, like, just call it mochi.
Yeah.
It's more delicious. Thomas, have you been watching some animes?
You know I have. I've been watching a few here and there, roundabouts. We haven't actually had a talk about any of the anime I've been watching for a while, which has been good because I've actually not watched all that many.
Shock.
I've been avoiding it.
I will say that I do slightly as well, but that's mostly because whenever I go to work, it's like, oh, I'm surrounded by Japanese stuff all the time, and I get home, it's like, oh, I could watch more things in I could watch and listen to more Japanese, and my brain is just like, no, stop, please stop. This is too difficult.
And your access to dubs is a little limited in Japan, is it?
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I've not got that desperate. Please.
Shame. I'm looking forward to discussing Hero Academia with you whenever you catch up on that.
Yeah, but you've been watching something with an even much better of a banger of an OP.
Yes. To make way for the fact that My Hero Academia's OPs have been sleeping this season. They've not been up to their usual standards. But then again, as I said before, it's a hard standard to maintain. So I forgive them for that.
It seriously is.
Last year we had Fire Force coming out with a pretty good OP for its first half.
Did it win the Crunchyroll award?
It did get nominated, and it was a worthy nomination
by Mrs. Green Apple. It's one of my favorite Japanese songs of all time, and it is currently on my regular playlist because it's so good. Yeah. It's called Inferno.
Yeah, and we gave a little bit of a talk about that stuff when we first did the review for Fire Force for the first 12 episodes. And John, you'll be happy to hear that they use Inferno for episode 13 and 14, if I remember correctly. They don't change to the new OP until a little bit later, but when they do change, do they change? Because as much as John loves Inferno, I really enjoy Mayday, their new opening song. Oh boy. It's a little unusual for an anime opening because it is quite metal, to put it lightly.
Quite metal? I don't think I've seen anything more metal when I saw just iron bars. It is as metal gets. If I put magnets next to it, they would be attracted because they're metal.
Yeah, it's metal AF. And it's fully sung in English, which is really impressive as well.
Yeah. Who's the band for it?
I don't think I can pronounce their name. Let's see.
Oh, joy.
It is top of my list. Oh, no, it's Cold Rain featuring Rio.
Cold Rain featuring Rio. They're my favorite.
Rio from something. From Crystal Lake. I've never heard of any of these bands before, but I might listen to them a little bit more because Mayday's a banger.
Oh, it's such a banger.
Anyway, so to continue on my review of Fire Force, most of what I said for the original 12 episodes, it pretty much holds up. The animation for the fights is still pretty great. All the characters are wonderful. What I really like about Fire Force is that they seem to have a pretty good balance on their supporting cast. We had a couple more characters in the second half, which is nice. I think they're quite good additions, although some of them are more developed than others. And especially for the last arc, they really make sure that everyone gets their time
nice.
To show off, because they split up the party and everyone has their own little moments.
But Thomas, you never split you never split the party.
I know, it was a very bad idea.
That's rule 1.
Yeah. Some of the characters get a little better treatment than others. I'm still not fully on board with how Fire Force utilizes some of its female characters. I mean,
oh dear.
At this point, Tamaki Katatsu is almost infamous for just the antics that the show pulls with that particular character and how it uses her for fan service. So
she's the Fire Neko girl, isn't she?
She is the firefighter who sprouts ears and 2 long tails made out of fire when she's in combat. Yes, and to be fair, the show does try to push her character a little bit forward and have this great moment, only to immediately undermine it for the sake of a cheap gag. So, kind of divided on that.
But did you know, Thomas, that women have breasts?
What? How could I not know this? This show loves to show me that that's a thing that exists.
Oh dear.
Very disappointed. But otherwise, all the supporting characters are pretty great. Lieutenant still top tier.
Yes, that's because he's you. That is because he is you. I want a photo of you if you went to our streams like Thomas showed his face for the first time. And I want just a comparison of how you and the lieutenant look, because you're absolutely the same.
Yeah, if the lieutenant grew a beard, actually no, we have the same taste in hats, so I can't really complain about that.
No, sir. Yeah, I've seen Thomas without a beard, so he looks exactly like Thomas did about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously Shinra, the main character, is still the main focus of the story. And he's his arc with his fight against the White Cloud is actually pretty good. I'm enjoying it quite a lot and seeing his development. The thing with Fire Force is, holy hell, does it have a skill ceiling? Like, the power ceiling just keeps getting broken pretty quickly. Because this was always a show about people who are using fire, like fire magic, pyromancy, to achieve some pretty impressive things. We have a guy with a plasma sword, a guy who controls the velocity of bullets from guns, and that sort of thing. But they take some of these powers to the next level. I'm not going to spoil what they are, because they are supposed to be like twists and surprises. But I don't know what the power escalation of this show is going to be in its second season, because these people are breaking the universe at this point. It's unbelievable. We joke about My Hero Academia having literal child gods as some of its main characters, and they are pretty demigod-like when you think about it. But yeah, no, some of these Fire Force characters just destroy physics, and it's ridiculous.
Would you say, Thomas, that they were fighting fire with fire?
Yes, John, they're fighting fire. They're firefighters who use fire to destroy fire demons. We're past, although the fire demons thing is becoming sort of a background thing at the moment as we're moving on to conspiracies and stuff like that.
And commentary on internal bureaucracy and the issue with that. Oh my god, it's a comment. It's what?
Yeah. There's also a lot of religious imagery. Like, I wasn't expecting this much religious imagery. I knew there were going to be demon-like things involved for the Infernals, which are the main enemies, but they really go hard on the religious imagery, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, Japan loves religious imagery. It's just a lot of the time people in the West don't notice it because it's to do with Japanese Shinto or Buddhism. Like, they just see, General Temple or whatever. So we miss an awful lot of religious imagery. But when it starts to go into, like, Christian religious imagery, we're like, whoa, this is also obvious.
Yeah, there's a bit. It's a bit more Catholic in Fire Force. It's refreshing.
Because like the amount of time in an anime. Oh, they're a sect of warrior monks who have come to save. He is from a sect of warrior monks, or now they will take shelter at this temple with this traveling monk, or da 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 da. Lots of monks, all monkeying around.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying Fire Force. The story is still progressing quite nicely.
Would.
The action's still fun to watch. The sound design is still crazy good.
You're in it for the long haul though, because I think they still have another like 40 episodes or something ridiculous.
There's another second season already announced coming out soon, and we'll see how that goes. Because I'm not sure if Fire Force was able to recover from its pretty shaky start in popularity. I don't think it's been a mainstay of the anime culture since its release.
I think I will say that, like, especially my kids, like that I teach, they know about it, which is good for its like the fact that like students know about it is like that's big because the thing that is also is still it's Kimetsu no Yaiba. If it's not Demon Slayer, they don't care. But the fact that like something that is shonen that is also existing at the same time, and people are like, yeah, I vaguely know what that is. You're like, okay, cool. And also, apparently, there are a bunch of like Japanese like anime buzzwords list. One of them being Lao Tom, which is like their rest in peace or whatever, is on many anime buzzword lists.
I mean, they say a lot. It becomes a pretty sensible, it's a pretty good catchphrase overall. Yeah, we'll see, because maybe next time it releases this year, it won't have things like the tail end of Demon Slayer or My Hero Academia to compete with. So it might have be able to stand on its own 2 feet there.
Yeah, because it's also competing with Dr. Stone at the Mo as well.
Yeah, I think they're not. Whilst they're both like Shonen Jump adaptations, I don't think they're those two really scratch the same itch. I think they do have slightly different things going for them.
No, yeah.
Like Fire Force has more competition with Food Wars than Dr. Stone, I would argue.
Yeah, but Food Wars anime is finished, Thomas.
No, it's got another season coming, I'm sure.
No, sorry. No,
the manga's ended, I believe.
The manga's ended.
Yeah. Well, as long as it's a satisfying ending, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, so the last anime, the final season is set to premiere this April for Food Wars. Which means I need to up my watching. I need to finish the 3rd and 4th seasons.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me know when you finish the 3rd season so that we can keep an eye out on the 4th season together.
I was halfway through the 3rd season when I just kind of... Well, I didn't get a bit bored. I just got distracted. Yeah. Because they were talking about bear meat for so long.
Oh, God, bear meat. Yeah, that nasty dough.
That nasty, smelly bear meat.
If I remember, the bear meat fight's kind of fun.
It was kind of fun. He made a croquette out of bear meat.
Oh, Christ.
Yes. So I think it's going to be a slightly shorter episode this week, just because, like, not an awful lot's happened, bar the imminent threat of death.
And, that's always been there. Like, that's not even something that's newsworthy these days, is it?
No, to be honest, I'm more likely to get attacked by one of the feral cats that live outside rather than being hit by coronavirus.
They'll get you.
Yes, indeed it will. They seriously will. There's one that lives a couple of streets away that literally owns the street. I can't walk down it because it is a huge white tomcat that is missing an eye with the traditional like eye scar with a pearly white eye there. And I went down that road for the first time. It saw me and I was like, oh, there's no exit that I want to go. So I turned around and the cat started stalking me. I'm leaving. No, I'm leaving. Please go away. And and this cat just kept on following me. I'm like, no. I don't want to die.
They say
dear.
that the only thing you should fear is fear itself, but I think stray cats should go on that list as well. Those little buggers will get you.
They're not little. They are scary
Hey.
boys.
Maybe he just wanted treats and pets. You don't know.
I had not a lot of treats, and I feel like pets would have gotten me to lose an arm.
Oh well.
What a thing to end on. So hopefully I'll survive next week. Listen to me and Thomas do more messing around. We have more streams planned, so make sure you like the Facebook page. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, and things. Anywhere you find podcasts. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at some point. Who knows? We're all Geeks and Gaijins at Geeks and Gaijins or G&G Podcast. Smash that like button. I don't know.
Click the assorted thumbs up, hearts, bells, plus signs, whatever the heck they're using to try and differentiate themselves from each other these days.
And leave
Just,
us a review on the platform of your choice.
5 stars, please.
Maybe one on Google Maps to say we're a great restaurant and you'd come again. That won't help the podcast, but it'd just be really funny.
Why not?
That's a Madaraishu from me.
Ta-ta.
Arigato gozaimashita for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.